Put my headphones on real quick. Okay, welcome back. We're on the stream. We've got some really questionable lighting going on over there. Either way, we're working on a games jam today. It's been a good few hours since I was streaming. Just gonna bring my microphone over here. Hello. Welcome. I'm actually had a long break. So this is where we were at. We're doing some Paper 2D stuff. We're doing the Kenney jam. We got a decent 5 hours break, so that's pretty crazy. It's definitely nighttime where I am. See if I can get this lighting to look a bit better. Don't know why it's so white. It's literally an orange light. Anyway, it's hot over here. I was thinking of doing the stream tomorrow, but that would mean we only streamed for 6 hours on the first day, which isn't great. So I'm back for 2 hours. It's going to be pretty chill. Usually my voice is going as well because I've been with 4 weeks of talking on cam is not doing me so good. So I'm going to bring this as close as I can to my face. I'm just going to whisper. I'm going to try whispering into the microphone for the rest of the stream. So I have neighbors and they're sleeping. Let's look at the task list. I'm going to fix a few things before we get too far in. If I add a task right now, it goes right to the top. I find that so annoying. Anyway, so one of the things that we did before we ended the stream earlier today was we added some time dilation. So let's go and take a look at that because it's not going to work in co-op. I've got a real bad cough coming on, so sorry about that to anyone who's watching. Alright, let's get this one. I'll try and cough off cam as much as possible. Hot drink should help us. So we're missing a level. Let's go find our level. Hit play. Got our little character. We can drag him around. We can do a little bit of flicking. We get this time dilation that happens. But unfortunately, this time dilation, because it's physics, it only works if we are... Oh, would you look at that? I can see off the map. That's strange. I thought the background was pretty big. Oh, it's really far away. We'll just do that. This is our level. It's an unlit scene that just has some 3D depth to it. So we've got this time dilation. It's not going to work in an actual game. So let's have a look at doing it a little bit differently. So when we set charging here, I want to set simulate physics on the flipbook to false. And I'm just going to start there. I think I'm going to get the velocity. Get physics. Linear velocity. Get physics. Angular velocity. I guess we could do it in degrees, because I'm going to apply that on tick to give the sense that we're still moving in the same kind of direction, but at sort of a modified speed. So it'll give us a feeling like we're still flying around. in slow-mo with physics, but not with actual physics. Physics, you can't time dilate physics. Yeah. One part of me was wondering for a second if I could actually still use physics. Like, not disable it, but basically change the linear velocity of whichever direction we were going to a different, to like the same linear velocity multiplied by 0.1. Take the angular velocity, multiply that by 0.1, apply that to the physics asset, multiply the gravity scale by 0.1. Oh, not allowed to do that. Gravity group. That must be a project setting. Strange. Spot gravity, yeah. So yeah, I can't do that. I can't do that because I can't change the scale of gravity. What gravity group should the BI use? What is that? UE5. Gravity group BI. Some gravity. It's a geometry collection setting. Never mind. So what we're going to do is, yeah, we're going to disable physics. We're going to re-enable physics. Let's get the linear velocity, promote that to last velocity. Let's promote angular velocity to last angular velocity. Last linear velocity. So we'll re-enable physics and we'll set linear. Set physics linear. Set physics angular in degrees. When we release this, we'll just reapply. Add to current. No, so replace essentially. So this is when we time dilate. So server and client are both going to do this. Got to be careful here the server doesn't mess up some of this stuff. So yeah. I wonder if I'm going to skip this because I'm wondering if I disable the physics, if these two angular and linear velocities are retained in any way, or if I'm going to need to zero them out or anything like that. So let's just try this. This is just the RPC sort of section of that. So yeah, we'll just stop and start the physics for now. Jump. Set charging. Yeah, we need to come back over here and apply force. What I can do is, rather than RPCing time dilation here, I can apply the force. I'm going to have to... essentially, I'm going to have to do it twice. Because if the server isn't ready, it definitely needs to not be slowed, basically. Because physics needs to be on. So I need to make sure physics is back on. So we'll make sure that we're doing that. It looks like it is retaining. I suppose it won't matter because we're changing it, right? It's spinning way too much. Okay. So on tick, we've got a cam rotation. Just going to start collapsing these to functions. Got this smooth roll for the camera. Another function that we'll have is just like update dilated move. And so if simulate is simulating physics. If we're not simulating physics on tick, we will add move offset. Not add move input, but add location. Add local offset with a sweep. And add rotation. Add local rotation. Can we sweep? Yeah. And we're going to use... we're going to need to store this. This is going to need to be replicated. Because otherwise it's going to do nothing. So we take this and we just multiply it by dilation strength, which will be 0.1. Sorry, what? How do I turn this into a rotation? I'm guessing it's just RGB. But let's just double check. Angular velocity to rotation per second, UV5. X roll pitch your make rotator angular velocity pitch your roll. What? Fair enough. We don't even need to... We could store this cheaper, basically. Just store it as a float. This is just going to make that a lot cheaper for us. Multiply this. Probably multiply this by delta seconds. I think. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, if we're not simulating physics, we'll do this. I never put a cap on how long you can hold that, so I just went flying. Dilation, let's just go 1. It's not doing anything. You know why? I didn't call it. Why am I always forgetting to call my functions? Awesome. I'm just going to multiply this by 0, 1, 1. And also adding a local rotation to my yaw is going to rotate me in this direction, because this character doesn't actually face forward. And so it's my y-axis that I actually care about here. And I'll be applying it to roll. But I'll be applying it to pitch, I suppose. Okay. Might need to be a world offset. I might also need to multiply this by delta seconds as it is being applied on tick. So that's cool. He did stop rotating though. So what we'll do, event graph, let's print angular velocity degrees, just double check that's actually outputting something. It's outputting something from the X channel, so we'll keep that. It is supposed to sweep. Does not seem to be sweeping. Let's get the time dilation. Just multiply it by 0.1. So that is now time dilated in such a way that it doesn't feel like it's going to break the game. So that's cool. So yeah, you can't affect global time dilation on a physics asset, but you can cache slow everything down and then reapply it at a slower rate. So that's how we worked around that problem. Fixed dilation. Okay, so I want to cache power. Let's move some of this stuff into functions. Let's go input. Graphs, sorry. Charge, set charging, elapsed time 0. Cool. So what we'll do is set time by event. We'll just call this auto launch. Promote to variable auto launch timer. Just say 2 seconds, and that'll be like if you hold it for longer than 2 seconds, it's gonna. That might not work. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Let's not do that. I need some kind of value component. Or just some kind of value. Having a value component would be nicer. Let's just check the jam rules quickly. Using basic primitives isn't allowed, but you'll find similar objects among the game assets. I'm going to ignore that. I kind of have to use a basic primitive because your pack is textures. It gave me a texture pack. I can't do anything with that in a 3D engine without a primitive. It has to be put on a plane, or it's going to be put on a cube. Either way, I have to basically ignore that one. Actually, I could ask in the chat. Missing token. Fine. Oops. Community. New topic. Missing token. What does that mean? What does it mean? I don't understand. Am I not allowed to put a picture in? I'm not allowed to put a picture in. Missing token. Amazing. It's annoying. Whatever. Okay, where were we? We got this working. So, oh yeah, so the rules. That's what I was looking at. Oh, that's cool. Can I look at the game jam? Okay. The only limitation is that you must use game assets and textures that are created by Kenney. There's nothing in here that says that the code has to be made. Literally, code is not a word in the jam page. Programming, script, like, yeah. So there's no mention. That's not a rule. Good. I'm gonna go steal some components now from other streams that I've done recently. So streaming, we did some workshop content possibly. Templates. Survival horror content, Yuxif components. Cool. Okay. Easy. Content. New folder. Yuxif content. New folder, components. Show and explorer, paste. Value component, health component extends from value component, so we know that the hierarchical, like the linking has worked. Okay, so now we have a value component. Let's add one of those to this. If you're interested in how and why all of this was built in this way, you can go and watch the survival horror stream that I did. But basically what this is a replicated getter and setter for a value that also has a passive delta under certain scenarios. So it has some event dispatchers for reaching 0. When we edit the value, we check that we can actually edit this, and then we edit it. Upon it being edited, we will spit out various delegates that we can listen to: 0, max, and changed. So this value will change, and whether the value is more than or equal to the less than the last value. So that's super cool. So what I can do with this is essentially call this stamina. We have 100 and 100 stamina. Let's go and add ourselves a HUD element for this. We're going to do this in our UI folder. User interface, not a widget preview. Didn't want that. Could just call this widget underscore value. Let's call it widget underscore value. We're just going to go with a progress bar. Desired. Actually, also custom. There's a variable on this for which direction it is. Bar fill type. I'm going to go bottom to top. I'm also going to set the general fill and opacity color. Fill color and opacity, is that what it's called? Fill color and opacity, yeah. What I'm doing right now is just creating a bar that I can reproduce across various widgets. So, well, I can use this widget and control the bar really easily. And then I can do more things to this bar in the future. graphics wise, basically, if I wanted to. Not sure I'm going to need to, but it fills up. Currently the color is completely blank, so let's just make sure that that is something. Cool. And then we also want to set the technically I'd like to set the background fill, but like per entity, but we're just going to go with this gray for all of them. That's fine. So that's our bar. That's how it's going to look. I'm okay with this for now. Now let's make a user interface widget preview, not widget preview. Goddamn, keep doing that. Widget blueprint. Let's call this widget HUD, like game HUD, basically. You don't have a heads-up display in a menu, so widget underscore HUD is fine. Let's create an overlay. Pop that in. Let's make a value. Put that in the bottom left, 100 offset. Wrap it with a horizontal box here. I'm going to wrap this value with a size box. How do I want to do this? In our reference or our design, we have this bar. You'll have 100% stamina to begin with, and if you take damage, you've only got 50 stamina left. This bar is auto-filling this element, or filling this element based on its value of 100. And these elements are doing the same. So if this is 25 damage, this is 25% fill. Or 25 units tall and auto-filling. I'm going to go with fill based. So in our HUD widget, this horizontal box will be wrapped with a size box. And we can determine whatever size we want for this, whatever looks good. So 650 in this case. Let's get that drawn. So that's the widget. It looks kind of shit. Not gonna lie. Let's widthen this out. Sure. Let's just start this at 100%. Let's change this green. It's even harder to see now. Wrap this with a border. Not super nice. My mouse appears when it's over it. God, how annoying is that? I guess what you can do is make it not hit testable. Yeah, sweet. I'm going to fix this up to look really good later. I'm not going to worry about it too much right now. Yeah, actually, I might be able to do something right now. Possibly. So I could change this to a rounded box. The outline settings, the width, 20? 21. The type half height radius, fixed radius, 5, 1. You can do this. Huh. Annoying. Yeah, that didn't work. It is now a cool little pill shape, but the board is horrible. Yeah, there we go. That's pretty nice. This bar's going to go down when we're holding down the mouse button. So when we're charging, we set this edit passive delta. So this is per second. We'll just do -10. And then when we're not pressing it, we'll increase by 20. Which isn't working. Has to happen on the authority. Okay. I should just change this to set charging on the server. This component should replicate, and it does. If it's not the server, we tell the server to do it. The server comes in, the server does it. The server says, hey, we need to be slow. Server comes along, says I am the server, and sets the edit passive delta. So that should work fine. So why doesn't it work? Value. Passive delta is 0. Start with tick enabled. Is that the problem? Set component tick enabled, as long as this is the case. Find the references for this passive delta. Edit value. As long as this is allowed, edit the value. Value plus delta 99. I'm an idiot. So what we're going to do is put a tag on here, or value tag. It's just a string. It's going to get the owning one, get comp by class. It's just one component, get all components, get comp class value. And for each one, get components tags contains, what was a name? Then we're going to bind to this value changing. But we'll convert this to a function, collapse to function, bind to value component. And this is what's going to update our bar. This is why I don't develop after 5 PM. Unless it's on a personal game where I'm not talking. Create event. Create a matching function on value changed. A component. Come on. Creating an event for every one of these. So now we have this modular value, like pill shape widget that we can use. Matching function. Had an error there where the pre-construct was attempting to get the player pawn, so we don't want to do that. Player pawn will not exist during pre-construct. So we have this, we bind to the value component, we have all these events for editing the value. We can promote this to a variable called bound value comp. What would also make sense here is if we have a bound value comp. If we don't, then we'll just bind it. Get value component. This is just good practice to keep yourself diligent. Then all of these variables can just go into there. Cool. If there was a value component already, when we bind to a value component, we don't want to still be bound to the old one. So what we should do is unbind event from max and bind event 0. Not all events, because something else might be bound to that. unbind passive, unbind. We did 0 max and just changed, value changed. So we'll hook all these up. And then we'll run the function. Grab these events here. That sucked. Okay, well, hook this up. And so this is value changed, on value changed, on passive changed, on 0 reached for this one, and max changed, max reached for that one. I'll just clean this up a bit. Bind to new and bind from last. It's just good practice to do that. So we did it. We like good practice. This is just initting the style. This is just finding and binding to a value component. That's cool. Okay. Next up, on our pawn, we're going to tag this stamina. In our HUD, we've got a tag here to bind that to stamina. That should now just work. Of course it doesn't. Just double check that that applied. Stamina. This, stamina. Do value. Let's go here. But so it probably did work, but I didn't do anything on value changed. So we get the progress bar, set %, get value, take the %. So that's just a feature of the value component that I was speaking about, which you can get your hands on because you could download the Aura template that I made. Okay. So -10 is a little bit slow. So let's make sure this is a little bit more awesome. So when this reaches 0, I want to fire it. If this ever reaches 0, and that can happen on the client side. So what we can do is ask if I'm the authority, which would mean I'm the server. I'm locally controlled. And I reach 0. Then we essentially run this set charging elapsed time. And now we've got a problem because we're not actually going to know what the elapsed time was. So I could just flush the input. Which will force the release to occur. And then runs its logic based on the elapsed time. So that's a cheeky way of doing it without storing more variables. So you can see now when I'm running out of stamina, I just can't do anything. So sometimes I've just got to wait. There's going to be enemies moving around the screen. We're not getting enough power from our minor stamina. It's like, how do I have a fun time? The regen is way too slow for stats, I'll say that much. Let's go find the regen here. So what I want to do is set timer event. Or maybe 1 second. Custom event start regen. I'll be more explicit. It's just like start stamina regen. 100. Start stamina regen. Promote this to a variable. Stamina regen handle. Auto launch timer. Yeah, we don't need that. This we would clear and invalidate if we ever start trying to jump again. What this does is when I stop, when I've launched, we start a timer to regen. And in fact, maybe we'd only start that timer on event hit. And as long as that stamina timer wasn't active. So if we receive a hit and the timer isn't active, then we'll start the timer. And we should also only do that on the authority, because this is a server-side portion of code. Okay, so now what this does is it says if I hit a surface, wall, floor, whatever, then I can start regenerating stamina. Basically just says you can't regenerate stamina if you're in the air. You can do this as well. Event landed, but that only works on characters. Yeah, so I shouldn't be allowed to start if my stamina is equal to 0. Never regens. I guess we don't trigger hit events. So there's a tick box here for simulation generates hit events that we're going to need to have ticked. Another thing is event graph here. We're going to need to set this to 0, otherwise it's just going to keep depleting. I don't think having it based on a hit was a good idea. Yeah, I don't think this was a great idea. I think this probably feels better. Just starting when you're after you're done, 1 second after you're done. It's a pretty fast regen. Like, we're not. That didn't cancel. Oh yeah. I still need to set this to 0. So the moment you're done and you've done a launch, you're good. Okay, so the launch force per second, I'm just going to double it. See how that feels. Okay, so next up, we'll do the faces. We'll do the faces later. We don't need to do anything with the velocity here, because we're launching the character. We're going to have a new velocity anyway. New velocity and angular velocity. So we're only saving this so that we can slow-mo apply it. I'm going to go dilation strength of 0.2, see how that feels. Okay, so the next thing is to get a UI element on there. The one that we had written was this this little triangle bar. It's just going to fill and grow in the direction that we're shooting. That's the launch power bar. We do want to do the shake first, I think. So what I wanted to do is on tick we'll do update charging. So charging equals physics off, or just charging if physics are off. On here, slow-mo non-physics movement. I should really add gravity to this, so it would be the last linear velocity. We're getting rid of the x value. We're going to add negative 980 to this, I guess. Which is just gravity. See how that quickly feels. It's not accelerated, I guess. So basically just immediately starts facing downwards because it's not accumulative. Yeah, we can't just add accelerate. Never mind. So it doesn't fake gravity, which I could figure it out because I could accelerate a value, but that I would then minus. But I'm not going to worry about it right now. Up here, charging. When I am charging if physics is off, not charging here. Right. So I want to add something to here, which is shake more at low stamina whilst charging. So charging again whilst charging. So the idea of this little bit of juice is that the little visual just shakes a bunch. Yeah. We'd actually already have, we've got an add local rotation here. So as you're moving through the air, he's still twisting just as he's moving through space. I also kind of want him to wobble. But I want him to wobble on his roll. Might be a problem because the forces are being applied to his X, so he might fly off the screen, which sucks. Maybe I'll just make his eyes. Yeah, maybe I'll just do it to his eyes. That'll make life a lot easier. Set rotation, relative. It's 89 here, so it's always 89, I think. We'll see. Let's go have a look. Yeah. Hopefully we're going to be able to play and not get gimbal locked with this. But it's basically the pitch that we're playing with, so. Random float in range. Value. Get value. I'm going to use the amount of remaining stamina to control the intensity of the shake. Good morning, in my case. Good day, night, evening, morning. Choose by yourself. For me, almost midnight. First one I saw, it's his cube, sad face. Great would be if he got a smile face when standing straight. So yeah, the idea is a player is going to be able to select. So I've already got the material instance. Player is going to be able to select one of the faces. So for example, you can have like this face. And when he's being squeezed, well, I was thinking of having something like more of a wince, like two eyes, but it doesn't seem to have that. I could make it. I could make it in engine, technically, because I could use this and I could mask this center off, and then it would look like what I want it to look like through material. So I'm not creating an asset, I guess. But like the player picks their like default face, and then like the squeeze would make the eyes do the funny thing, and then I've just noticed that the torque that I'm applying is massive. I want to change that before I forget. Where's apply force? Need to go find that. It's in my inputs in here. Apply force. Add this vector torque. It's 250 right now. I'm just going to slow that down. Change my face. We'll do this one. I like this one. He's like the smooth dude. I had some other ideas while I was away as well, like having different arenas with different colors on the walls to denote different things. So yellow is just your default wall. Blue could be like slidey. You could have damaged ones with spikes on that you're not allowed to touch, so you got to try and avoid those. By like managing your stamina, you don't want to have you don't want to run out of stamina. That would suck. Okay, anyway, so moving on, the shake on the eyes. So let's finish that. Update charging. Over here, we're going to use, I guess we could use value. Get value %. Okay. So we'll just multiply this by 0 to 1 on the %. And we'll just do minus 45 by 45. It's 1 minus. No, it's literally 1 minus. Let's do a subtract. I just thought that'd be funny. It's like, oh god, ah. Another thing I'll do as well is set relative scale, and I'll play with that as well to just give it even more juice. More juice. What's his scale right now? Should be. Oh no, it was 0.6, wasn't it? 0.7, 0.75. I think it's meant to be 0.75. We'll go with that. Double check that by changing it to the guy with the round eyes and checking that his eyes are still round. So that's cool. That's the sad one. It's the girly one. Let's go with the default guy. Yeah, look at that. His eyes are like tall. Found really strange. 0.6 works on here. But then if I bring this over, just seems a bit weird. Also, why has he got a little bit of white there? Annoying. That one seems good. Maybe it is just supposed to be 1 times. Okay, so during this charge here, I want to multiply. How close are we essentially to 0? The closer we are, I could just lerp. Just lerp based off this percent between 2 values. And it will essentially be a value of 1, and we'll try this. And then we just need to remember to set the scale of this back. And the relative rotation back to defaults after we're done, which will be in set charging false. Should probably set this back to 1. So it would be some kind of Super Meat Boy. The idea is a bit of a Smash Bros. Super Launch Bros. Launching at each other with like a power-up meter that you can use that can take various damage that you can pick up, like healing items to get rid of the reduction in power. And then there was some concepts of doing like a sort of climbing level. But yeah, it's a bit of a Smash Bros. But literally smashing each other. So I'm gonna be mostly focusing on juice, where like you can lift this guy into the sky, grab him, throw him back down to the ground, and then have like a ripple across the screen. All the pixels are going to like refract. And I might make like these cubes like sort of shift. Like basically I want everything to wobble whenever you do a smash, and I want the smash to feel really good, so it's like whoosh, into the ground. Bam. But what you get into is, like, when you don't have much stamina, you sort of do a little feeble attack, which is pretty funny. But, like, running out of power is a feeling, for sure. You're like, oh, I just needed more power. And what we're going to do is have this diamond guy as an enemy that will, yeah, you saw him over here, right? So they'll come on screen in, like, patterns, symmetrical patterns, and attack you. So that'll be what that does. Right now we've got the shake power. That's cool. We've got the launch power bar. Actually did the stamina bar first, so we took that off. We'll want the launch power bar. Let's make sure that we get that in. So the launch power bar is this element around the character. So we're going to have to make a material for that. That'll be in our artwork materials. MUI power bar. Might go and get a quick reference. That looks absolutely dire. I don't want to eat that, whatever that is. I never want to see that again. It is the power bar. Cookies and cream. The original performance sludge. the original performance sludge. Nothing's going to give me what I want. I don't think I can find a search term that's going to give me the references that I want here. So, UI... funky progress bar. Game UI. It's just going to give me these boring progress bars. This is like the most interesting shape I've seen. Just one portion of a reference, like a percentage of a reference would be good, like 10% of a reference. Guess I could write this and see if it works. What game's that? It's a game and I want to play it. It has an open world of creatures with health bars. It's my kind of game. What is this? It's World of Warcraft. It's World of Warcraft. Fair enough. It's my kind of game. Okay. Maybe I shouldn't have typed that. Another slightly just barely slightly non-uniform.
That's while using weak auras to manage the UI. Weak auras. Is that the name of a plugin? Weak aura. Yeah. Hey, Barabbas, welcome back. Yeah, I'm good. I'm just having a late night sort of ASMR chill stream. A little bit quieter on the energy. Got to do though. Building this games jam here where it's like a super launch bros. Show you where we're at. Yeah, World of Warcraft is a good childhood memory of mine. Wow. I'm enjoying this way too much. Intentionally. What we're doing right now is we're doing this little bar. But I'm deciding... Sadly, I don't have a design for it, and I don't have a designer on hand. Because, you know, it's the weekend and everyone's off work and nobody has time for this kind of stuff. So... I am the designer now. I'm the designer now. I'm not a UI designer. I'm a UI builder. But I get by. I've seen enough and built enough UI that I can kind of do it. So we're looking at this and we're thinking, when we're holding, this grows. It's not based on the distance of the mouse because it's too much. It doesn't work on gamepad in that scenario. That design won't work on gamepad. That's exactly what I'm thinking of. Thank you. Yes, the bazooka shot UI is literally exactly what I'm looking for. Wow, that was an awesome. Did you see that? That is a thumbnail right there. That's a thumbnail. What do I turn it? What do I type in for this? Yeah, the guy with a freaking like rocket launcher in his gob. Grenade throw, maybe? Try Worms game. Yeah, this little shape here. But yes, thank you for reminding me, but that is exactly what I wanted. I knew I'd seen it in my head somewhere, and obviously this is a game. This is back when... What I love about Worms, if you played this one, you were around in the era where there were like a handful of decent games that you had shared between like your friend group. Like that guy had Worms, that guy had like, I don't know, what was another good one, is like GoldenEye, and that guy has that system. And if you played SSX Tricky, you should come over and play SSX Tricky. It's like, oh, by the way, speaking of retro games, I'm going to go on a tangent quickly. Someone is remaking like 1-for-1 SSX Tricky. I hope they don't get into legal trouble, but look at this. A little bit of dubstep on this one. Anyway, yeah, pretty cool. And he's even got like the snowflakes. You smash through the snowflakes and stuff. But yeah. Music's a little bit too much for this bit. But no, yeah, I wish I could do animations. I'm not an animator. Oh yeah, check it. It's got the actual... This music is much more similar to the original. Like this kind of electronic dance. Yeah, so good. So good. Anyway, back to worms. Yeah, that'll do. This one, essentially. Oh, don't take it away from me. Spent all that time to look at a bunch of spheres that are different colors. All right. So I want to make a triangle out of UVs, please. Oh, he's got a custom. He's made a custom node. Sure, let's do the same. Give a UE5 custom node HLSL where the inputs are listed at the top in -- comments because they are implicitly defined by me in the node array bars, which creates a upward facing how do I want to do this? I'll rotate the plane that this is on rather than rotating the material. Yeah, an upward facing triangle, i.e. wide at the top. Let's get rid of all these bloody brackets. I use way too many brackets. End up with like 3 brackets in. Give a UE5 custom node HLSL where the inputs are listed at the top in the comments because they are implicitly defined by me in the node array vars. I'm defining that in this request to GPT because it always sit up. Okay, which creates an upward facing triangle, i.e. wide at the top. I can control the width. Okay, let's go back to our material. Power bar UI. Do I draw this in UI? Yeah, I'm going to draw this in UI space. But then I'm going to be rotating. Draw this in UI space, and it kind of needs to be drawn in UI space. I could do it on a widget component and just rotate that widget component. We'll try that. But either way, this is still going to be a translucent, or yeah, a translucent at least. Yeah, I've had to get used to this. Like, I've got it down now. Look, it's got my inputs defined so that when I copy it in, custom node here, I've got that part. I should just be able to plug this in, define my inputs. 1, 2. Let's go UV, width, smoothness. Interesting. Smoothness. S. Oh, wait. Can I just promote this to a variable? See how you can promote this to a parameter? Wouldn't it be awesome if I could just promote this to a parameter? Smoothness, width, UVs, doof, doof, doof. We'll go 1, oops, 1, 1. But it doesn't listen, does it? No smoothness. It just literally ignored the fact that I said upward facing triangle, wide at the top and tapering to a point at the bottom. Good job, ChatGPT. You did great. Don't let anyone else tell you differently. Fucking idiot. Center top, float 2, 0.50. Wrong. Bottom left, bottom right. This is just all wrong. Okay, so easiest way to fix this, custom rotator here on the UVs, and we just do subtract. Oh, sorry, I'm on about divide. 180 by 360. I guess that's 0.5. Plug that in. There we go. Whatever. And like this can just be 1 in here. Okay, cool. I want to give it a bit of a gradient. How do we want this to look? I don't want to do this. Let's get a named reroute here. Let's go triangle. 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 Can I multiply this by color? BG color. Go in there. Do that. Add. This. Let's just color this in red quickly. Cool. Okay. UV gradient. Break. Okay, the G channel, which is an up-down gradient. Lerp. Yeah, that didn't work, did it? Let's do charge A and charge B. BG color over here. This was supposed to be grey. Do this. Actually, that looked kind of cool. Let's go. Not that way, but the other way. I feel like I'm gonna grow this bit. Like it starts off kind of weak and then grows red. I don't know which part grows either for my liking. Just looking at the design, it's like, what would be more obvious? Like this, like growing the green upper bar that's static size. As I'm holding, it's like, or the whole bar grows, but it would get really long and it would go off screen. So yeah, let's just draw a bar. We're just going to grow it. It's going to get red towards the tip. Something like this. I then need to turn this into like a stepped progress. Okay. Go back to GPT quickly. Give me a BG color and a gradient lerp with two colors, A and B, with power multiplier or the contrast or that gradient. I wonder if you could just gradient over a curve. Let me try that quickly. Curve. S curve. It's just a contrast. Essentially what I want. Yeah, cool. With S curve amount bar. to control contrast, the gradient, blur, and a fill percent, which causes the colored to fill the BG color, the BG space. Output. Actually, don't give me the colors. Gradient alpha with F curves up. Give me a BG. No, don't even do that. Return the R channel as the mask. Our G channel. The G channel as a gradient alpha with S curve amount. S curve fire to control contrast of the gradient. And a fill percent which causes fill percent. Returns a black and white vertical fill mask in the B channel. Let's see. I'm basically trying to get it to give me the 3 channels that I need to do my additional math with. So we'll see how that goes. Got 20 minutes before midnight, I think. Yeah. Thank you, ChatGPT. It was good doing business with you. Custom. Let's rename this. Let's call this OG. Put this in here. Oops. That's cool. Copy the inputs. And add S-curve and fill percent. Problem. Oh, right, I know what the problem is, maybe. No, it is a float 3. Redefinition of B. Okay. Redefinition of B. I was right. It helps to be able to read it. It's like you can get away with it if you never read it before. In fact, I've never read it before. You've just got to be able to read. I think that's the main thing. Okay, so let's just get a 1 in here. Check out all these different curves we've got. Yeah, we've got this gradient, fill, and then that's back to front. But that's okay because we can just 1 minus that. Why is it not flat? I just committed towards the millions of dollars that the ChatGPT pays for people who say please and thank you. Fair. Okay. So we've got everything that we need now. We've got our fill gradient. We've got our. I mean, it's given me this, but essentially, this is just gonna power that there, and it's gonna rotate based on all this. So I don't need to do it twice, basically. Cool. So that goes into color. Opacity, it's just the R channel. What we also do is we lerp using the progress, and we just lerp that between these two colors. I need to clamp this. Multiplying it by the entirety of triangle is probably not a good idea. In fact, we don't need to do that at all. We just need the color. So this is our gradient. Cool. So now, let's say that this is like 4 or 5. Put my percent. Yeah, 0.75%. That's obviously the wrong way around. 1 minus on there. What? What's going on? What's going on? Opacity is 1. Just show me the B channel. Show me the B channel 1 minus. I've got a 1 minus the percent here. I'm just going to tell ChatGPT. I want it to have the 180 of the triangle and make the progress 0.25 have 25% fill white from the bottom upwards, and 0.75 progress would fill up towards upwards to the top of the image, leaving black in the last 25%, just to be completely verbosely clear with ChatGPT here, so it doesn't give me, hopefully gives me exactly what I want. Why? God. Please do it correctly. What is going on? I tried to be as clear as I could, but no. Yeah, it's pretty standard, bro. Why are you making it so hard? It's called it B fill now. It did actually do that before. I thought it started getting salty. It hasn't changed it. Am I crazy here? It's fucking trolling me. Like, fuck you, I'm gonna do it myself. B fill step UV Y fill percent Y if UV Y is less than or equal to fill percent. So what if I just flip this? Percent, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5. Okay, so that doesn't work. What if I do a 1 minus in here now? 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.5, 0.7, 0.8, 1. Sweet. You'll do. It's good enough for me. Bloody hell, it's a pain in the ass. 0.2, 0.5, cool. I don't want the triangle to have all rounded corners. So we're going to use sine distance field logic to make the corners rounded. We'll see. Corner radius. That didn't really work, did it? STF UV5. This distance fields. No, not that. Sorry. What am I talking about? 2D SDF basic shapes. Blah 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 blah. This one. Thank you. Triangle. Is it rounded though? I don't know what it's giving me now. Oh, son of a bee. Okay, let's go and look at this one. 2D SDFs. That would actually be awesome. Let's go for this. That's actually a lot more like the reference as well, but it's like completely done through a shader, which is sweet. I really like that. Let's see how that goes. Give me the sweet, super awesome top radius, bottom radius. Let's have a look. Top radius. Radius. I'm just going to tell it I don't want height. Maybe I should have just kept the height variable and just shifted it around till I was happy. Final, 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 final. There. Tell you what, I'll scroll up. Hello. Just to give me the graphic I want, I kind of want this. What is the logic for the fill? It's just a step of fill percent UVY. Okay. What? Come again? Changing this does nothing. Yep, there we go. I mean, I know that's clamped, so I don't need to clamp it. In the pursuit of perfection. Like needless layers of polish on a simple. Some people would just draw a triangle, but I want a nice curvy shape. Some people would disagree with me. Vertical offset. Let's go. Okay, let's get rid of fill percent. Let's add vertical offset and vertical scale. Border thickness. Actually, it shouldn't matter because I can vertically offset it by point whatever I want. I'm going to make an assumption here. It's probably going to call it scale. Okay. Would you look at that? Look at that. It's kind of nice. Kind of like that. Fire. Sweet. Aliasing problem. Last one now. Aliasing problem everywhere. Add smoothness to fix aliasing. Actually, we already have smoothness. What am I talking about? Okay, what I need to do is plug this in. These are all fine. Okay. Multiplying these together. Increase my smoothness to 0.1, 0.02, 0.03. 0.02 is fine. If I use this final color, what's the artifact here? Boom. see how that looks in game. Okay, let's do it. Okay, we're back in game. Woo. UI. I already have the UI material. I need drag power. Image. Custom. Yeah, sure. 100 by 100. Got a power bar. It's not as long as I would like. But luckily, we have a bunch of awesome little controls that we can play with now. And it would have took technical artists like hours to do that before. It's pretty wild. Whoop whoop. It's looking pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it. And then very wormsy. Very, very cool. It's also, it is still aliased. Significantly. Smoothing is shit, man. How am I gonna fix that? If I just have one and I look at this, I have this. If I multiply that by the color, I get that. If I then add this multiplied by the outside, and then this is the opacity, does that solve the aliasing? It does kind of solve the aliasing. And then I only need literally like 0.02 on the smoothing. So that's much nicer. So less lerpies. Saturating to that. Still got a lerp here, that's fine. Damn. That's a shader. That's a hell of a shader. Okay, so that is in our drag power widget. Save that. Okay. What I need to do is have that image be a variable. Oh shit, we passed midnight? I got carried away with that shader. Maybe that shader did take an hour. Image, drag power here, get dynamic material. Set scalar, parameter value. %. Don't construct. That's it. So one function for set visibility, which is going to allow us to control the visibility when we're holding the charge or not. One variable for the percentage, which will allow us to control through the value component how far the power bar will be. On our pawn, we will gonna have to change his face. What? Gonna have to change the face. Mug face for when this works flawlessly. Add a widget component. It's going to be the widget charge. We're going to. It's not going to have any collision, not step on, no overlap events. Blend mode is transparent. Let's go screen space, draw it desired size. The widget class is power, drag power. Let's take a look at that in world space. Could do it in world space. Maybe it will look cool. The idea is we'll rotate it around our character. That's way too small. Do something like this. See all the aliasing. Whoa. Yeah, that's not going to work. Yeah, that's not going to work. Let's just do it in screen space. Yeah, so I've just realized this. I mean, once it's always facing the right direction. No point doing this, though. We're going to have to be moving it around the viewport, I think. So we'll go to our HUD, create a widget. We only need one. It's our power bar. Drag power, add to viewport. Let's add it one layer in front of everything else. Make sure that my cursor that I made is also above everything. Yeah, cool. So this is exactly what I wanted. I wanted it to just entirely fill the screen. I mean, the anchors in the viewport are fine. Set size. Dispatcher, so our UI can listen to the event of charging changing. So, problem here. It's not too bad. If the percent is close to 0, we should really do a one-way or something. I think. We are going to take, we're going to promote something here to a variable, I think. I don't think we actually have this variable, in fact. We're just going to get the direction. Let's do it. So this is going to rotate it correctly, and then set position in viewport is the mouse position plus actually recombine this and then break it and then apply it like that. Take this direction, we'll multiply this by hopefully by a float, just say like 50. It's going to be our mouse position plus 50, hopefully. Units in the direction that we want it to be in. So we'll see if that's good. No, we don't want it based on mouse position, sorry. We want it based on this position. Let's not do that. Okay, so now that's pointing in the right direction. I suppose the point here is I'm shooting it in one direction, but I'm actually wanting to point it in another. This might actually work now. Need to set the pivot for this. We don't add anything. It should. What's going on there? And the viewport is bullshit. It's not doing it right. And also, it looks like I'm going to get maximum power, but you don't get maximum power. You get the crappy power. So I need to figure that out. It needs to be based on where he is. It's one of the annoying things I'm doing right now. Make his stamina enormous. He is at least rotating from its root, which is good. But its position is off. I think it's the alignment. We set the desired size, but we didn't set the alignment. So currently it's pivoting from the bottom center, but it's aligned from the top left or the center, either or. There we go. Now we offset it by half the size of our widget, or the direction. Either or. So say minus 200 plus 50/50. Let's just go 0 here. Okay, what size we drew this guy at? There we go. Put this back down to 100. that you get to hear, but then when you charge that last little bit, you're actually firing it based on the amount of time that you held it down. And I can't query how long you've held it down. We do have a launch power bar now, though, so that's cool. Coins increase the stamina bar. Yeah, look into that. I mean, we shouldn't really do that one. It's just going to break the game. Let's not do that one. Let's do the smash shockwave is more important. And we can do all that tomorrow. I'm pretty happy. The fact that we got most of our UI done. Cutesy UIs. I need to do some work on the colors. Okay, what am I going to do about this power bath? Because yeah, the amount of power that you launch it at is actually based on how you are holding it. Wondering. I think I have an idea in mind. It's a pretty cool little power bar. Does what it needs to do. It's just so dark. Maybe just not using brown or not using grey. So maybe not a nice purple. Yeah, in comparison to the background is on. That's not very bright, I should say. Brown. Brown's good. Okay, so I have an idea for this power bar fill thing. So when charging is changed, if we get the value, get whatever the value was, start value. We do max value. I mean, that's start value. Say the start value was it was 20%. I'd get 80% off of that. What I'm trying to do is draw a percent of the fill that is equal to start value minus value. So it started at 20 and it's minus 10. It's now 10. It's start value minus 15. It's now 5. Zero. I'm going to map it so that the diff becomes the percent. I think. Is that what I want to do? No, I don't want to map it so the diff is the percent. I want to map it so that when I'm at 20 and I pull, it only fills up to 20% of the bar to suggest like that's how much power you're going to have. So we could essentially multiply this by start let's call it multiplier. It's whatever the value is of the max value, which is the starting percent. So we do that. We essentially multiply this by that original starting percent. So if you started at 50%, you can only go up to 50%. So that can go up to 100. Yeah, and so this can only go so far. It's like, I can't do much, doink. I can't do much, boss, doink. So now, yeah, the redness is relative to like how strong the actual flick is going to be. Which means when you're in the red, you should get like a decent smash against the wall once we add all the camera shakes and stuff. Then we can add like physics materials for like bouncy, like different colored platforms for bouncy walls, like that you would bounce off. And then it should still work in co-op. So let's go double check that. His eyes even start shaking. You don't know which way he's going to go, but you know he's shaking. Which is pretty funny. I love that they can like merge into one sometimes. It's pretty funny. Oh no, what are we going to do, boss? We're stuck. Mobile game. Once I get the character customization in, we'll be able to have a bit of fun with that as well. I was going to make it that whilst you're squeezing on them, they have a different face, but don't actually have the artwork for it. Like, it would be weird to show the dead face whilst you're squeezing on the character. That just doesn't make sense. I could go into Photoshop and edit the texture. Pardon me? This is the one we're using. Cool. I don't think it comes with geometry. Bluff, it had geometry in there now. No, it's a PNG sprite sheet or vector. It has no 3D in there. Okay, cool. Yeah, I liked the worms reference, although I mean, yeah, it's cool enough. We could add some more flavor to it with some material effects layer if we wanted, maybe. I want to try and keep it simple. He says, spending an hour on a shader. That's what happens when you like tech out, I suppose. It's pretty late, man. It's like 1 a.m. Okay, I think that's me for today. I'm going to be back on at like 7 a.m. So 6 hours from now. See you soon.